Attention families, are you ready to secure your future with confidence? Well, I want to introduce you to Angie Herder. She's my dedicated American Family Insurance agent, and Angie is the bomb. She goes above and beyond to ensure that insurance coverage perfectly matches your lifestyle and your future needs. So from car to life insurance, she's got you covered every step of the way. Now, single parents, I want you to really listen to this. It's time to set yourself up for success. Your family is worth protecting, and Angie is here to help you find the right coverage to keep them safe and secure. So don't wait. Reach out to Angie today and take the first step towards peace of mind. Welcome to Co-Parenting Confessions. Of course, I am your host, Alysha Price. And before we do anything, click like, subscribe, and share, because we want you to stick and stay here at Co-Parenting Confessions. Continue to be a part of the conversation because we appreciate you. Now, today I have really, really cool, amazing dudes in the building. And when you guys get to hear from them, you're going to see exactly why I think they're as amazing as they are. We have Lightskin Jermaine Cork in the building. And we got Scott SDOT in the building. Let me tell you, I feel like because you guys are in a party scene, I gotta be like, we need all the sound effects, right? So today we're talking a little bit about co-parenting, but with a twist, because we know that when you have a co-parent that's on the scene, who's a part of the entertainment industry, or is well known, sometimes that can affect or influence your ability to effectively co-parent. And then we also see people who are a little too involved in the nightlife and not taking care of their home life. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like and what our experiences are. And both of these amazing guys are fathers to a 19-year-old and a 23-year-old. So it's fair to say you're not new to this, you're true to this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got some co-parenting expertise in the building.
Yeah. I always say I'm an expert.
You are.
Okay.
You are at your lane.
Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And I love this because we have had some amazing impromptu co-parenting discussions in settings that feel like we shouldn't even be talking about co-parenting.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciate you guys, one, for welcoming the podcast, for also being such a support to the work that I'm doing. So I appreciate that.
I mean, it's good work. So we're not supporting you. We just enjoy the work, so we watch you.
That's what it's
Great work. Good job. On TV every week.
All right. We're not to do here.
Right. Every time I see you, like, what? You on TV now?
Every rep.
I love it. So tell me, both of you guys, about how would you describe your co-parenting journey? Good, bad, or indifferent. If you could describe what your co-parenting has been like, what would you say?
Oh man, it was tragic in the beginning. It was tough. It was just arguing and fighting and agreeing on nothing, and her like counting every dollar I spent from the internet, and just like it was tough. It was fight, and then now we're cool. That's my dog now.
I love it.
But now it's like the role is reversed. So now like me and my daughter aren't cool, and she's like, I'm bitter.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, or resentful for whatever reason, and now me and my baby mother are like tight.
Wow. I love that.
It's weird.
So we gotta tap into how that even happened, right? Like how you guys became cool.
So I think she had like a help. So I was in the movie theater one day, and she called me. You know, I answered the phone, answered the phone, and she just like, I want to apologize. I want to apologize to you. I was like, for what? She was like, yo, I just had a health scare. And it just made me realize life is short. Why are we fighting like this? Like, you've been great, and I'm sorry, and let's just be cool.
I love it.
And we've been like cool ever
since.
It
does. It happens like that for some people, where something has to happen for them to realize it's not all bad. You know, like that saying where they're like, you know, if everybody throws all their problems in the floor,
Yeah.
and you see everybody else's problems, you're gonna take your own shit back.
Like that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you start to realize, like, okay, what I'm dealing with is not as bad as I made it out to be.
Yeah.
Jermaine, how would you describe your co-parenting?
Yeah, like skin.
Yeah. It's a journey. I mean, it started out good.
Yeah.
And then it went kind of left early. And then it took some years and years before. I think the biggest issue was working out the communication piece.
Mm-hmm.
So it took years before, probably when my daughter's probably like 8 years old. I got some good information from a female friend of mine, and then I was able to like see things differently. And it helped with the communication piece. So it started, the communication wasn't off anymore, so that wasn't an issue. It was more so about me like always fighting for parenting time. It was not something that I was going to negotiate with. And then her getting into a serious relationship and trying to prioritize the new dude's family and holidays over.
Oh.
So I had to flex muscle in situations like that verbally, but and then by the time my daughter's in high school, everything was like smooth sailing. It was no smoke. I mean, except for maybe one situation in high school, and after that, it was pretty good. It's
And
like,
do you feel like it was better in high school because you were able to communicate more directly with your daughter versus her mom?
So in the early years, not so much because my daughter's very much sheltered, so it was still more communication with me and her mom. And it was after my daughter got into like her sophomore, junior year especially, it was like I'm trying to communicate with my daughter more. And my daughter thinks she's still like a little kid. I'm like, nah, you actually have a say so. Like you gotta tell me if you want this or that, or whatever. So I think it was more so in the beginning. High school, it was a little rough or whatever. And then at the end of high school, it was smooth.
I love that you were even saying like you realized something in her where you're like, I now need to empower her. So I need to show her something that maybe her mom's not necessarily advocating for or instilling in her. And that's the beauty of having both parents because you have insight and you see something in her that maybe her mom wasn't recognizing. So you're like, buck up.
Yep.
You got a voice. You get to say, you know, and a lot of young girls need that. They need to be told, like, speak out. Yeah,
and that conversation, there was one big incident where me and my daughter kind of like, this is the only time me and her like kind of like yelled at each other in our whole entire life. And it was to the point when she was crying, I was mad upset.
Yeah.
But this was like over Christmas. I'm like following the protocol. Like I'm asking her mom ahead of time about these plans. And I'm like, you need to make a decision if you want to go because your mom is kind of dragging her feet on the decision or basically telling me what y'all plans are.
Yeah.
And she didn't give me no plans because y'all ain't made them yet. But you're not telling me for sure that you want to go with my family because we were going out of town for Christmas.
Like, make a decision. Final answer.
My daughter's like, I'm a child. I'm like, no, you're not a child anymore. Like, we're in the garage in the parking lot just like yelling at each other. Whatever.
Leave it up to them to choose for me. I don't have to be accountable to anybody's feelings.
Smart. Makes sense. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. They don't want to disappoint either parent.
Yeah.
So
in that moment, she knew I was disappointed.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever yelled at my kid.
Yeah. And she was just like, I'm the kid. You tell me where I gotta go.
That's exactly what she was saying. Like, I'm the kid. Like,
oh, that's the only time you ever yelled at her?
No, I've never really had to yell at my kid. Like, I could look at my daughter in a certain way, and she would just burst into tears. Like, she knew that I didn't play.
And that's not something
you gotta teach me that look.
But I'm blessed, to be honest with you. Yeah. I don't even deserve the type of kid that I have. And if you talk about karma and all of that, especially the things that transpired when her and her mom were together and other women, like, you know, they say you get, if the guy has a daughter, that's his payback for all his, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily think I deserve the type of like understanding kid that I have and well-mannered. But then again, I look at it like this. It's like I actually was present in her whole entire life. I actually raised her. So that actually does matter. You know, when you're in it, you don't necessarily think about it like that. You think you're just doing what you're supposed to do. But then as time passes and you see that your kid doesn't have certain behavior issues that maybe
like,
you grew
I poured into that. I did that.
I was a part of that. Yeah.
And it's so important to give yourself credit for that. Like to not always think it's just something that happens.
Yeah, man.
You know? So, okay, I feel the vibes. We got SDOT over here like, wait, what? You ain't having yelling matches?
I'm the bad parent in here.
You're not. You're not. You just have a different experience. Yes. And we want to know about it. So tell us.
About my experience as a parent?
Or just even with co-parenting.
It's been tough, I think. My daughter, I think she was, first off, I love my daughter to life.
Yes.
She has issues with me that she can't quite explain. And so I think that's our biggest struggle. And she's very lippy. So that's our second biggest problem. But yeah, I don't know. She just, it started out, I had a kid when I was like 15, 16. I think she was born when I was 16. So me and her mom didn't know nothing about, all we knew was sneakers and basketball. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't know nothing.
Yep.
I mean, so we did what we could. Me and her mom fought constantly. We weren't together though. She's never like seen us like together. I think we broke up before, right when she was born maybe. And she's with the dude who she got with back then. They're together right now.
Oh,
who was actually like my enemy in high school, which was crazy. Him and his crew. It was weird. You know, it was dangerous.
Wow.
So learning how to like go visit your kid and not be paranoid and looking over your shoulder.
Yes.
And then they do moving into the house, and then you have to like be nice to this guy. Because you don't want him to take anything out of your kid. Yeah, put as a man to push you in like the scariest situation ever. So that was all tough. And meanwhile, I'm beefing with her mom. So I think my child was brainwashed really young. Like, oh, your dad ain't this and he ain't that and he ain't there for you and yada yada. But as a dad, you're like, well, I know you're saying these things, right? And I can hear it even on the phone when you're screaming, but because I'm with her and she witnesses my dog, like you think like whatever she says, it doesn't matter because I'm here and you see it. But somehow later in life, it's just, no, you were never there. You were never da-da-da. You never da-da-da. You know, and it's like, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Like it's an easier story for her to tell.
Yeah. And it's like, and it was crazy is now her mom will say like, no, your dad was there. He was good. He was good. We just had our issues, but like he was there. Like you know what I mean? We never lived together, but you got to go live with him whenever you wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Well, and good for her though. Shout out to her for trying to wrench it around.
Shout out to my baby mother.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to my baby mother.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
For coming back around and saying like, okay, I might have said these things in haste, but he actually was present. He was there for you. And then building, the relationship that she has with you now, like that's dope. Because some people won't do it. They'll realize, they'll know all that they could have done and what they should have done, and what they said or that was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like she had like a come to Jesus moment.
Right.
Yeah. It gave her some perspective that worked in your favor.
It did. Thank God. 'Cause I never thought we would be friends.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean.
So. Because you guys, when I thought about doing this episode, I really envisioned how I see you guys when I see you out.
Okay.
I had this vision in my head, like of you guys working the crowd, working the room, and being who you are as these personalities. Right. And I wonder, when did that start, and did that have any impact on your ability to be a co-parent or your co-parent's vision of you, and like, oh, you're out here, you think you the shit because you in the club, because you hosting a party, because you DJing, because you doing music. You know what I mean? Like, what was that transition like?
You gotta go first.
Mine was tough because my majority of the time my child lived with her mother, so me being in the clubs and doing all the things I was doing, it looked like I was living it up. You know what I mean? And she hated it. And she was like, you can afford to go to the club, you should be doing this and you should be doing that, But my whole thing is like, it's 50-50. Like, and her family would say the same thing. If you got money to buy true, back in the day, true religions and Jordans and go to the club and bottles and yada yada, you should be doing more. And my fight used to be, well, it's 50-50. So I did my part. Now you gotta do your half. You know what I mean? And I mean, maybe that was the wrong way to look at it, but that's how I looked at it. You know what I mean? So it was tough. It was tough. And she counted my pockets and felt like she wasn't living life and I was. And then one day it flipped. Then my daughter would start feeling like, oh, I'm a young, struggling kid and you're living your life. And you're in a club and running around pretending like you don't have a kid. Her words. And it was crazy.
How old? Okay, tell for context. How old was she when she started with this?
So that mentality started probably in late high school.
Okay.
Which was weird because she lived with me in my house. You know what I mean? And then, but she literally said those words the other day. So she got to see running around, living it up, pretending like you don't have a kid, and I'm struggling. And I'm like, kid, I can't pay your bills. If I pay your bills, like I'm gonna ruin you as a person. Yeah. Like get out there and learn and figure it out. Yeah. You got it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But she just feels like, no, you should pay my bills. You should pay my rent and blah blah blah. One day she was like, you know, my mom lived like this and you live like this. Why didn't you take care of her?
Yo.
I'm like, what? This is a teenage. She was a teenager though. I give her some credit, but still, I'm just like, you want me to take care of your mom? She got a whole man. Like, right. What are you talking about? That shit. I think she has an unrealistic idea of maybe the type of money I make or something. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it seems like it's reversed.
This is good though, because, and this is why I'm talking about this, because I think also with social media and the way things are now, everything is about, you know, bottle service and bodies and the money and the glitz and the glam and what people perceive.
Right.
And the perception of things really like clouds reality for a lot of people. And so just because you're out and this is a part of your work, please tell me, every time you guys are out, do you enjoy yourself every single time?
No.
Thank you.
No.
No.
Absolutely not. Yeah. There's so many times I want to be at home chilling.
No. I'm grateful for it and I enjoy it, but it's mad times you don't want to.
Right.
He got a fake smile, he's fake interested.
This is what I think people don't understand. It's that it's an actual job.
Right.
Which nobody sees it as.
Yeah, they just see it as just having fun. But no, there's work that goes into it. Yeah. The planning before, the actual at the event and after. There's a lot that goes into it that people just do not see, and they just see the highlight reels or whatever you want to make it. But if you're we had a crazy run. We were doing 3 weekly nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
The whole weekend sold up.
Yeah. We're literally talking on the phone, figuring things out all day. Every day.
Just nonstop trying to figure stuff out. Like, this is not just some easy thing. It's not easy to do. I mean, hey, where's the camera? To be successful in the nightlife and host events and promote and all that, it ain't easy. So just get that out your head right now. Y'all can't do it. Yeah. I'm just going to let it say y'all can't do it. Because if anybody can do it, you would be doing it. It's not it's a job, so sometimes
you're not going to enjoy yourself every single time.
No.
And then you have people, like you said, looking at posts, looking at the things that you're doing, and then clocking your money based on that.
Pocket watches.
Yeah.
So, we had a guest on the show at one point, scared to talk about a way that he made more money, because he was just like, oh shit, now I'm going to say that, and then now somebody's going to see that, hear it, and then that's going to turn into, I got to pay more child support because of this or because of that. And so that could be damaging too, where it looks like you're living a certain life, and then the perception is you have more money than you have to actually contribute to child support. Has that happened for either of you?
I don't know if that was the reason, but there's been times where child support's been raised without even a conversation.
Yeah.
And I've always been in my daughter's life and took care of her when she was with me, especially, and split all. My daughter was a dance kid, so she was in dance for so many years. Me and her mom split that on top of the child support. Yeah. And then before you know it, I get paperwork in the mail. Like, you didn't even talk to me. So
I don't. You took a trip.
I think even back then.
You on vacation.
It's possible.
He do be on vacation though. He
Now
be on
more so, bro. I have to live it up.
He be going. I was your baby mama. I be getting you for back child support right now.
When we talk about, hey, I graduated child support. I thought it was a myth. I've never met any dude that ever talked. My dad died with child support arrears, so when I finally graduated, I thought it was like.
That's what you call it when you graduated.
Yeah, that's what I call it. I thought it wasn't real. Like,
Wait, paying child support?
yeah, so when it was like over, like through the state or whatever, like, I'm hitting up the caseworker like, hey, are you sure? Just like, yes, on this day, I'm like, are you sure? Because I thought it was just like.
You know what? Wait. Hey, just wait a second.
What?
Time out. Because this is a moment. Like, literally, this is a moment. Do you know how many people talk about who's graduated from high school, who's graduated from college, who has degrees in their family? But then when we think about in our culture, how many people go generation after generation and there's child support arrears and it just carries and it carries and it carries. So somebody's sitting here like, I didn't think it was a thing to know that I graduated from child support payments.
I was so happy though. Like I just didn't know how to feel.
Yeah.
I was just
But okay, also to clarify for people, it didn't mean that you stopped paying.
No, absolutely not.
Right, but there was something about the fact that it was, I have to pay this amount every month, and the state or the government or however you want to look at it is involved in my family.
Yeah.
And involved in telling me what to do, that I just want that part to be done.
Yeah, I did the math one day. I was at the gym. I'm like, and I calculated the fees that's going to them when you process the payment. So
Which is crazy to me.
So I hit her mom with like Alysha, like, how about I just pay you directly because they're getting this and you're not getting that?
Yep.
She was like, no, I'd rather just go that way just to make sure. I'm like, I
was so blown away when I heard that child support takes a fee.
Yes.
There's fees.
That's crazy.
There's fees. Yeah. It was an extra like 100. It was.
Yeah.
That's funny.
They take fees in order to collect.
Yep.
And then if they're not collecting, until recently, you could be penalized, and then those fees were, continue to cause the arrears. So you're negative.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, you know what's crazy for my daughter to ever feel like? So I always say, you know what, if you feel like I wasn't there, like, maybe you mean I wasn't there enough for your liking. But to say I wasn't there is just really unfair to me. But she can't like, she just, no, you just wasn't there, you didn't help, da da da.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like, I never got put on child support.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Now I got threatened with it, and my baby mother controlled me with it till my daughter was off the races. But like, I never got put on child support.
She never formally did child support.
No. I think she said her mom was like, yeah, he's a good dude. He's gonna take care of business. Yeah. Just hold off on it. So and shout out to her mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you did.
I did, and I think, I did. I think that I did what I could for what, back then, being a kid and coming up. 16, 16, and then, you just do what you can,
Yes.
But,
When you started. How old were you, Jermaine?
So, when my daughter was born, I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But her mom, when she was first born, she applied for like daycare assistance, right?
Yeah.
So my daughter's mom never had any intention of putting me on child support.
Yep.
So
say it.
However that works out at a certain point, they like, hey, Mr. Cork, guess what? I'm like, yo. She's like, no, I didn't want it. And then, but once she started getting it, she rolled with it. She was going behind my back, raising up the
that you mentioned that because that is real, and it's something that a lot of people don't understand or not. Is that when women apply for any type of assistance, they automatically ask who the father is so that they can collect whatever assistance they're providing
they got it back
from that other parent.
Yeah.
They got it.
Yeah.
It happened to me actually. So like I got served with some papers. I had this warehouse job. And my boss, I hate saying my boss, that feels weird. But my boss, back when I had a boss, walked up to me and was like, hey, police are here to see you.
Whoa.
I was like, what? And then a cop came around the corner. I was terrified. I didn't know what I did. And he came to serve me the papers, child support papers. So I called and she was like, I know. I applied for whatever it was, and I didn't know it, whatever. And then, because I was out of state, they had me do like a phone-in court thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that I called in, the judge was so blown that I actually called in for the child support thing. But I just feel like y'all got me. What you know how it works? What I'm gonna do? So, but shout out to my baby mother. She did not call into court.
10 toes
Yeah,
down.
I'm gonna give it 10 more minutes. Well, you off the hook, Mr. Madison.
Oh.
I was like, yo. And that's why if she asks me for anything, or her mama, it's here.
Like here.
Listen, I think
You can have it.
my kid's mom, she's pretty good in terms of like the child support, even with like going behind my back to raise it up or whatever. But there was a point where I had to like, I say flex muscle, but like I had to like stand up for myself with her, because I had so many homegirls who have kids and their baby dad's child support is only $50. I was paying significantly more than that my daughter's entire life, and she always got it. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I agreed to pay half of the dance. So I'm giving you this $500.
Just dance?
No, just for child
support.
support.
I was about to say.
The dance is probably
and then
close to that.
And then whatever the dance was, we was gonna split whatever the dance cost was on top of the child support. Like she actually didn't need me to split none of the dance because of the child support with it. But anyways, so that was our agreement.
Yep.
And then she hit me one day. I'm at the gym, just like, hey, I'm gonna put our daughter in another dance program, like an additional dance. I'm like, okay, man, no doubt, whatever. But it's gonna cost an additional $250. I think you should pay for it. I'm like, all right.
Hold on.
I was like,
the way my account works.
I was like, no. I'm like, this was like when right after she went behind my back to raise the child support. I didn't even fight it. I'm like, I'm not going to court. I don't want to see these people. I'm like, it is what it is. And I told her, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to pay for that. She's like, well, that's not fair. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's women out here not even getting the $50.
The thing is too,
and
if you were living in the same household together, it would be a joint decision.
Yeah.
It would be like, we're sitting down to talk about, can we do 2 different dance teams?
Yeah.
And then it would be like, yeah, no, we can't afford that right now. Yeah. But there are some women who make these decisions in a vacuum, and then make the phone call and say, hey, guess what? You're on the hook for what I now think our child needs or should do or have. I remember being in a space where, for me, I always kind of figured what I wanted for school clothes. I would come up with kind of overall what I thought Christmas should look like. And then I would be like, hey, so this is how much money I need for, what we're doing. And I think I was always very reasonable.
I don't think that's still unfair for you to come up with what you think Christmas should look like.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, this is how
you just assume.
I would be like, okay, so here's the things he said he wanted.
This is when y'all was together?
No. We're co-parents, right? So I would be like, so here's the things that I said that, he would say he would want. So are we going half on these things? Because this is what we're going to get. That's kind of how I would do it. And for the most part, he'd be like, okay, yep, I'll go half, or I'll buy this thing. Yeah. And you get that thing. Yeah. We would split birthdays a lot of the times.
Did y'all bring significant others to the birthdays?
He did.
I did. Not you. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So for the most part, it worked, right? But I realized early on, I was the one making the phone call, being like, okay, so this is how much money I need for this thing. Woo. However, I'm willing to bet he would not change it because he didn't have to do the shopping. He didn't have to do the legwork. He didn't have to do the kids trying on the clothes, returning the shit that don't fit no more, figuring out every 6 months that the boy's shoe size went up a size and a half. He wasn't dealing with all of that.
That's okay. But here's what I gotta say.
I don't like shopping.
Here's what I gotta say.
I'm with him.
I get it. It was easier to just give you the brand to do whatever. That makes sense. But when, my daughter was already graduated high school and we were talking about all the years she used to be in dance, and she was like, Dad, I never even wanted to be in dance.
Nah!
I'm like,
What?
Yo.
Yo.
I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
What? She's my daughter started young, like 6 years old.
Her house right now. Me and you.
So when my daughter
right.
told me that, I felt justified when I had to like stand up to her mom when she was asking for an additional $250. So I'm like, okay, if you pay for our daughter $750 in 1 month, I'll match it and whatever else after.
Right.
But if you're not paying that much, I'm not paying, like you were saying, 50-50. Like I'm giving you $5. You want an extra $250 for this dance thing that you think she should be in? I'm like, no, you pay for it.
Yeah.
You just raised the child support.
She raised the child support?
Yeah, she had already raised it. She didn't have a conversation with me. I'm like,
I would have just got back with her. I ain't gonna hold you.
She was already with the dude.
I don't care. If my baby mama put me on child support, we get back together. We gonna work it out. I'm gonna be good.
Hey, it's cheaper to keep her, right? It's cheaper to keep her. But hey.
Yo, that's crazy.
So before we're out of here, because I feel like I can talk to y'all forever. But before we're out of here, I definitely want to know, because you guys have daughters that are adults at this point, they're in that space. How has it been introducing women to them? What has that felt like?
You go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean, I've just been very protective over my daughter, period. If it ain't a serious relationship,
then you don't do it.
And so there's been, since my daughter was in high school, there was a couple times where she kind of like was at the house and shorty came through, whatever. And then my daughter was old enough to give me like her opinion on the woman after she left. And that came in handy because my daughter was like, she's kind of weird. I'm like, you're right. So when my daughter was young, like if me and the girl was not in a serious relationship, then she did not meet you, period.
So give me some grace because remember I was a teenager.
Yeah.
So all through my teenage and 20s, like every girl I smashed will meet my daughter. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, I didn't know. Later. And so to my daughters, to her case, so she looked at me and I didn't notice this until like 5 years ago. She looked at me as like a womanizer.
Yeah.
Because even though she lived with me a bunch of times, she mainly lived in her mother's house with a man and a woman and children. So like her coming to my house and just meeting girls. I'm like, yo, meet my cute daughter. Like, you want to watch her while go to the gym?
Oh my God.
You know, I didn't know. So it really backfired. I didn't know my daughter was like mad about this. So then I stopped that, of course, as a mature adult. But over the past 10 years, I hate introducing her to women because I'm gonna be honest, this is what she does. She'll befriend them, and then she'll start talking to them about the last girl or some girl that she don't think she knew. You know what I mean? Like she it's almost like she's trying to like trip me up or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So that's like heartbreaking because it's like, yo, you're my kid. What are you trying to? You know what I mean? So
Build up the spot.
Yeah. So,
my God. So my son told me this recently. So I was contemplating whether or not it made sense for him to meet someone.
Recently?
Yes.
Oh, new bag. New bag.
So I was like, I don't know. I feel like maybe not yet, you know. And he told me, this is my 22-year-old son. I was like, well, it's not, I don't know that it's serious yet. So I don't know if you need to meet him. He told me it can't be serious unless I meet him.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense.
It is.
And this was just like 2 weeks ago, him saying this to me. Now, this is a whole new terrain, right, for me, right? Because I've never had to navigate my son feeling like I should have some say-so. I should like vet this man. I should see what's going on with him. And now he's like really invested and involved in like my movement. Like he's checking Life 360 and like, oh, you over there again? Or, like when's the last time?
Yeah,
you know,
no, that's real.
You know, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so he's all up, you know, in it. So I kind of feel like when you said that about like, unless it's serious, I don't introduce my daughter, then that's how I felt. until my son just was like, hey, it can't be serious unless I. So is it different for girls and boys?
What, meeting women? Oh, well, I'm in a relationship, so my daughter.
Yeah.
So,
this.
I mean, so to his story, like he had a revolving door, like that's what I was not trying to do.
I didn't know.
But I was 20 when my daughter was born,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And then me and her mom split up soon after that or whatever. So I was a little bit older than Dot or whatever. So I was intentional about that because I was smashing too. But at the rate I was doing it, there was no need for my daughter to be meeting these women. There was no need.
Right.
But there were some accidents along the way, you know what I mean? Which, oh, hey, yeah, my daughter's asleep. Hey, Dad, what's the...
Oh, like she's been there and sleeping.
Oh, there was one time I had to leave a girl alone, so, oh my God.
You had to what?
I had to leave a girl alone. She, like, said some, like, mad, inappropriate stuff.
In front of your daughter?
In front of my daughter, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
and it was like her own, as a grown woman, personal philosophy or whatever, so she's entitled to it, but it didn't line up with nothing that I would ever like.
And how you would teach your child.
Yeah, and she's a female, and my daughter's listening to this. It's like, my daughter just heard you say that you would have sex for money, like.
Oh, that's what she said?
Like what's happening right now?
Bro,
like,
did you put a price on it?
Bro. Like,
$40 holler.
But I love that. And thank you for sharing that because it's okay for men to be like, yeah, you're not what's up. You're not good for who I'm raising and what I want around my kids. And so
yeah, I mean, we're intentional as well. You know, that's like a buzzword these days. Men are intentional.
Yeah.
Especially men with daughters. You know, like it's important.
Okay, but see, men with daughters, that's why I said, is it different? Like, would your son have been meeting all of these women? You know, would it have been?
Honestly, it probably would have been different.
I
think it would have been different. I think it would have been like, hey, son, this is because I would want to teach my son, like, you know what I mean, like whatever.
How to navigate this.
Yeah, but to confuse my daughter, like, it's just gonna, like, I didn't want my daughter to think like I'm getting super close to some female.
Yeah.
If it wasn't that, you know what I mean?
Or to see behavior that maybe would reflect negatively in terms of who she would choose later. Because I'm sure, you're like, I don't want her to see me just like with all these different people.
Yeah,
and
my dad had all these chicks, so it's normal.
Think about that.
But we had a pass.
But I did it through my 20s. It wasn't like just 16.
Through your 20s?
Yeah. It wasn't until I was like 31.
Oh, wow.
I forgot how old she was when she said it. And I was like, oh, I wasn't.
So now I'm going to speak from your daughter.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because as you're sharing these things in this safe place, and I super appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm starting to understand her a little bit better.
You understand why? Okay.
Because all I've heard so far up to today was, just kind of the tension and the little, and her not getting it and you not understanding what she's not getting. But now that I'm hearing some of the things that she's been privy to.
I was a kid though.
Right.
And I can tell you gotta give me and your mom grace with children.
You do. But this is the thing. I think what would help so much is if you just go ahead and apologize.
I have. Listen, let me tell you something. Because I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I've taken everybody's advice and tried it. Nothing's worked. The only thing the advice that I didn't take early on that I wish I would have was a girl I was dating told me to put her in therapy. And I was like, she don't need no therapy. I'm my father. We'll figure this out. And now I can't put her in therapy.
But you could go together.
Could go together. She don't want to go though. She don't want to.
Have you asked your daughter like what she wants?
She wants money. She gonna say, give me some money, Dad.
Yeah, what?
It's complete. If I show you my text, it is completely silence until Dad, I need you to pay this bill. They about to turn it off. That's it. That is it. Or if I'm in Chicago, I'm like, yo, I'm in Chicago for a day. Let's go to lunch.
Therapy.
I've offered it so many times.
But I'm saying you might have to put a price on it.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, we're gonna go to therapy. We're gonna do X amount of.
Oh, like pay her to go?
Yeah, we might go do X amount of sessions. It don't have to necessarily be a lot, but maybe it's a gift tied to it.
I'll try.
Because in the end, it would be a bigger, better.
It would be because
it'd be worth it if y'all could be in that relationship, 100%.
And if you know that that's something she will respond to, is you putting a little carrot out there.
I will. I'll offer. That's so weird. But I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
I'm gonna
and
do
then
it
you're gonna
tonight.
come back to Co-Parenting Confessions or Part 2 with your daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be hard.
Yeah, I should. But what about the son do? What happened with that? Before we go,
they haven't met yet.
Is it? Are you planning to do this?
I am planning.
Oh, so you like this guy?
Serious?
You like? Do we know who he is?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Has he been on the show?
No.
Okay.
He hasn't been on the show.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ooh, how long y'all been kicking it?
3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
3 months. Is
Okay.
it official?
No, it's not official.
Okay.
Is he ready to meet your son?
Yeah.
He is?
So he's serious.
Or is he like for real?
Yeah. He's like, yeah. I told him that my son said it can't be serious until he met, and he was like, I agree with them.
Your son big? Like, he can fight?
Yeah, he's got a little size on him.
What would happen if, like, they had a disagreement?
They totally wouldn't.
Like,
You know, me and my mother's, one of her boyfriends, he thought he was, like, coming to talk to me as a man figure for my mom when I was, like, 16. It's like, dude, you won't make it out the neighborhood. Like, I don't know where you think you at. Like, you're not, you know what I mean? But
No,
everybody else I like this shit.
He's cool. I think that they'll get along great. And, yeah. So, we'll see.
I can't wait to meet him. Like,
Does he have
the
kids?
brunch?
Yeah, he has kids.
How many?
What? I'm not switching this on me.
How many kids you got?
I ain't telling all that.
You got a couple. You got a couple.
He got some kids.
He was in the
He
streets.
got some experience.
Yeah, in season.
But, you know,
Okay.
I like him.
You gonna bring him to brunch?
I like him.
Oh wait, biggest brunch ever, by the way.
It's coming
Yes.
up.
Coming.
Yes.
Were you gonna bring him to brunch?
I might. I don't know.
Bring him to brunch.
He's been to one of the events.
Oh, who is
He's
he?
been there.
We know.
While I was there, and we was hanging.
Yeah, I was
we
like-
gotta know him. One of us gotta know
Oh.
him.
No, y'all don't know. Anyway, thank y'all for being here today on
Thanks for having
Co-Parenting
us.
Confessions.
Thank you.
I will absolutely have to have you guys back with your daughter.
I'll bring her.
That would be amazing.
Whoa, that'll be scary. We might have to edit it.
We have to have her on the couch, have you go, then
Yeah.
have her come back, and you know.
She called me bro yesterday. I
No.
almost threw my phone. Like text me bro as his own text and then proceeded to cuss me out in another text. I just was like,
Okay,
Lisa,
therapy
you see this?
Yeah.
ASAP.
She needs therapy.
ASAP.
You want me to pay the therapist and pay her to go to therapy?
Well, I mean, maybe not pay her, but maybe it's a little, like it's a trip. If we successfully make it through therapy, we'll take a trip together.
I don't.
Place
But
that she might want to
Man,
go. I don't know.
It's not. She got issues with her mom
Your
too.
daughter's 23?
Yeah, 23. Yeah, yeah.
It's cut off.
That's what I keep saying. I'm like, yo, you're not even a kid anymore.
You cannot give up because she may be.
It ain't giving
I
up.
was
It's
like,
tough
I-
love. Because if you disrespected
I
me,
did. And I'm the nicest guy in the world.
and I've done all of this work to try to
Yeah.
mend our relationship, whatever, and you still disrespectful.
I
She's
told her.
dealing with some
Alright,
things.
she
I
called
did.
me bro. Alright,
I
sis.
said, look, you 20. I don't have to speak to you no more. Like, I'm doing this because I love you. Like, but I don't like who you choose to be. I try to choose my words carefully. Is that it? That's like a nice way of saying like
who you choose to
don't.
be.
Okay.
That is nice.
That is not
That's
nice.
good.
So passive.
That is a nice way to say it.
Okay.
Thank you guys so very much for
Mm.
coming. I super appreciate you.
Yes.
You will
this
be
was dope.
back. I did not give y'all permission to turn this around on me in the last 5 minutes.
Oh.
But
Welcome to therapy.
right, I love y'all.
Next is
Co-Parenting
therapy.
Confessions. We are so happy that you guys joined us. I hope you learned something from today. You know, don't be checking people's pockets based on what you see on social media. You know, ask before you hike up child support. And do a
Please.
solid
Yes.
by when you recognize that things have changed, things have evolved, you realize you maybe do something different, or you could have done something different, then apologize, because that's what happened in SDOT's case, and that turned out to be really great. And now he's able to get along with this co-parent. We love you guys. Stick and stay. Co-parenting confessions. We out.
Peace.